Alright, guys. Welcome to the classroom. Today we're going to be learning about magic. We're going to do some research to see where did this come from, how did it begin, and what is it about. Then we're going to try to get as deep as possible. But first, I got chat right here. This is to answer questions and to get a little breakdown of it. And I got my questions I want to ask right here. Alright. So, let's go in. Our first question is, what is Magick? That's how I like to say it. What is Magick? Magick. I'ma get on the TV, mama. I'ma put it down. Magick, often spelled with a K to distinguish it from the stage magic or illusion, is generally defined as the science and art of causing change in conformity with will. Bingo. Aleister Crowley. That was his quote. In simple terms, magic is the practice of intentionally directing energy, symbols, or actions to create change, whether in the self, in consciousness, or in the world. Core elements of magic: will and intent. The central idea is aligning actions with one's true will, deep purpose, or intent. Energy. Magic works with subtle energies, mental, spiritual, or natural, and directs them through ritual or focus. Symbols and correspondence. Tools, symbols, words, and gestures are used to represent and channel forces. Candles, sigils, tarots, herbs. Ritual. Structured acts, ceremonies, chants, meditations help focus the mind and raise energy toward a specific aim. Transformation. At its roots, magic often changes the practitioner, expanding awareness, reshaping the subconscious, and aligning with desired realities. Okay. Different perspectives. Psychological. Magic is a way of hacking the subconscious mind using ritual and symbolism to reshape through thought patterns and behaviors. So when we get to manifesting and we gotta contact the subconscious mind, that is a form of magic. Tapping into, hacking, or getting deep inside your subconscious mind using rituals, repetition, and symbols to reshape through patterns and behaviors. Spiritual, metaphysical. It's seen as an interaction with spiritual forces, deities, spirits, or natural energies. Practical or folk. Everyday magic like charms, protection rituals, or prosperity spells meant to bring tangible results. Tangible is something we can feel, see, or understand using our six senses usually. Let's continue. Types of magic. Broad strokes. Because it can get even deeper, but we try to put them in folders to kind of gain direction. Ceremonial magic. Highly structured with rituals with divine names, angelic invocations, and planetary correspondences. Chaos magic. Flexible. Belief as a tool approach. Focus on results over tradition. Wiccan or pagan magic. Magick. 3 times for the power. Nature-based, honoring cycles of the moon, seasons, and deities. Magick. Folk magic, hoodoo, brujeria, voodoo, etc. Rooted in cultural traditions, often blending spirituality and practicality. Whatever. In essence, magic is about intentional change, internal or external, through will, focus, and symbolic action. All right. That's pretty deep. Now we're going to get into this guy right here. Excuse me. I said, what is Aleister Crowley? Who is Aleister Crowley? That's our first question. After what is magic? Let's see what they bring up for us, guys. Magic. Aleister Crowley, 1875 through 1947. Boom. was one of the most influential and controversial occultists in the 20th century. He was an English ceremonial magician, writer, mountaineer, poet, and founder of the religious philosophy known as Delma. Key points about him: early life, born Edward Alexander Crawley in Leamington Spa, England, raised in a strict fundamentalist Christian household with the Plymouth Brethren, which he later rebelled against. Magick and Thelma define magic as the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. Okay? Founded Thelma, a spiritual philosophy centered around the maxim. His quote, which he heavily believed in, was, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will." That's a little confusing. We can get deeper though. Believe each person has a true will, their deepest purpose, and that living in alignment with it leads to fulfillment and freedom. Okay. I like where he going with this. Writings and influence. Prolific author. The Book of the Law, Le Bil al Vel Legis. Magick in Theory and Practice. The Book of Lies. Among many others. Writings mixed with ritual instruction, philosophy, mysticism, and esoteric symbolism. All right. Had to pause it for a second. All right. Orders and societies. All right, let me not go too far. Prolific author. Writings mix ritual instruction, philosophy, mysticism, and esoteric symbolism. So he included all of that in his works. All right, you buy any of these books, it'll help you get to a foundation. It'll help you build a foundation in magic if you have no foundation, like from your parents or anything, or just to understand the background of magic and how others created and therefore, had their foundations built around and built for. His work influenced modern ceremonial magic, chaos magic, Wicca, and contemporary occult subcultures. Orders and societies. Members of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, a major occult society, but clash with its leadership. You guys need to understand right now the word occult simply means hidden, okay? Means not a lot of people literally know about it or is a part of it, okay? So if you're a part of this occult, it's nothing devilish about it, nothing satanic about it or anything. Occult simply means hidden or under the surface, okay? Perfect. Later founded or revitalized other magical orders, including the AA, and later became a leading figure in the OTO, Ordo Templi Orientis, okay? Understand his reputation, nicknamed the Great Beast 666, a title he embraced, okay? So they was trying to call this man the Great Beast, a devil. That man embraced it, okay? So he took the power from them. You know how they say good media, bad media, all media is good media? This man literally mastered that understanding. So instead of him allowing these people to paint him in some type of image, he created that image based on what they said, and he ran with it. That's called taking power back, all right? So instead of letting people gossip about you, learn how to take that power back, all right? Shout out to Aleister Crowley. He was vilified by the press as the wickedest man in the world for his open discussions of sex, drugs, and occult practices, hidden practices, all right? Despite controversy, he remains a major figure in esotericism, counterculture, and even pop culture, inspiring musicians, artists, and writers. Legacy, seen by some as a spiritual teacher and mystic, by others as dangerous, egotistical, or immoral. His philosophy of self-liberation, ritual, and personal will continues to influence magical, and spiritual traditions today. You guys got to understand that when you start thinking for yourself, creating for yourself, literally doing your own research and not allowing yourself to be controlled or brain controlled by, the elites, they will paint you as dangerous, egotistical, or immoral. You guys got to understand that his philosophy was self liberation, self freedom, okay? Freeing yourself, okay? Putting it all into your own hands, okay? Accountability, okay? Ritual and personal will. Perfect. Let's get to the next question. We don't want to get too deep into that. What is intentionality? Okay? Boom. Boom, boom, boom. We got to go to what is intentionality so we can understand what is intent, okay? Boom. Let's get there, chat. Great question. Intentionality is one of the words that can mean slightly different things depending on whether you're asking in a philosophical, psychological, or spiritual, magical context. Let's unpack it, okay, chat? I like where you're going with this. This is allowing us to break it down and really get in there. I told you guys, in order to really understand something, you need to break down what you already know and see how far can you go deep into what you already know. You got to peel back those layers, man. So that's what we'll do. Even if we know the answers, it's best to ask instead of play like we're the smartest people on earth. Here we go, guys. In philosophy, especially in phenomenology and the work of Edmund Husserl, excuse me, Husserl, that's a name we don't gotta get it right. Intentionality means the aboutness of consciousness. In other words, whenever you think, your mind is always directed towards something, an idea, an image, a memory, an object. Example, if you imagine a tree, your thought is about that tree. That directedness is intentionality. Hmm. They be talking in circles sometimes, but we can go deeper. Psychological, everyday sense. In modern usage, intentionality is simply living and acting with purpose instead of in autopilot. Got it. So people that sleep being autopilot, they not working in intentionality. It's about being conscious of why you're doing something, aligning with actions, with chosen goals, with values, or with outcomes. Hmm. Example, eating a meal intentionally means you're aware of nourishing your body, not just snacking mindlessly, okay? So don't just be eating an apple, not understanding you eating an apple to literally nourish your body. It's not a snack, it's not fun. This is literally nourishing your body. Go, health is wealth. Be mindful about that, all right? Set the intention out there and get to it. Spiritual, magical contents. Here, intentionality is the foundation of magic. Let's read that again. That's where we came for. Here, intentionality is the foundation of magic. The idea is that thoughts, emotions, and willpower direct energy. Without clear intention, rituals, symbols, or spells lack direction. If it's not clear, the energy just sways all over the place. You feel me? So when you get clear, right? When you get clear, you start to follow the path. Now you remember in the Wizard of Oz, they always kept saying follow the yellow brick road. It could be any road out there, right? It could have been a red, a green, a blue, but they told you to follow the yellow brick road. And at the end, where did she get to? That was a clear intention. Let's go. Intentionality becomes the focusing of will toward a desired transformation, internal or external. Let's do that again. Intentionality becomes the focusing of will toward desired transformation. Example, lighting a candle isn't inherently magic, okay? You need to understand just because you light a candle, don't mean you're doing magic. All right, let's continue. Lighting a candle with focus, intent of healing, protecting, or clarity transforms into magical effect. Okay, understand that. Short, intentionality is a direct focus of mind, will, and energy. It's the bridge between the mere action and the meaningful transformation act. All right, let's get deeper. Let's get deeper. It's about having purpose, focus, behind your actions, thought, or experience. Let's get closer. Let's get closer. Guys, we're understanding what magic is. We're understanding the four things behind magic. All right. Later on, we're going to get into the element. Excuse me, dog. These two are the heart of magic and spiritual practice. Let's break them down. The question is now, guys, what is ritual symbolism? We need to understand that, okay? Because when we start doing these things without knowing, that's when we get trapped into someone else's magic or someone else's beliefs, okay? And we start giving them out to their things and literally taking our power away from us. Magic is the power out all the time, right? We get power back. A ritual is a structured, repeated, and symbolic set of actions performed with what's that keyword that God, the foundation of magic, intention. Yes, Lord. Purpose, focus the mind, direct energy, and mark transmission from ordinary space, time, into sacred or liminal space. Okay? Understand that. Form can be complex, ceremonial magic, religious, rituals, simple, lighting a candle, saying prayer. That's all magic. Okay? So you get to praying, you understand it goes to a higher form, a higher deity, a higher energy. Could be God, could be archangel, could be anything you believe in. We're not attacking anybody, guys. This kind of community, not attack, but to bring forth information. Okay, so there's no discrepancies or discrimination or segregation in this class. You can believe whatever you choose to believe, and as long as you're willing to grow consciously with information and learn from it, you're part of this class. You could be here forever you want. Function magic ritual provides the container where anything goes again will and energy are concentrated and amplified. You get that? Ritual will amplify your will and energy. Alright? So we need example. Check it out. Give examples, okay? So you can this protection ritual might involve cleansing, smoke, protect circle, and enchanted invocations. These the steps help shift awareness into a heightened state, make the attention more potent. Okay? Symbolism. Symbols are images, objects, words, or actions that carry meaning with literal form. Their purpose. They act as a language of the subconscious and the spirit world, guys. The subconscious mind does not my word right now. It doesn't think like that. That's a conscious thing. That's a lesson form of energy. The subconscious mind takes pictures, takes photographs, takes understanding in one word. It's almost like binary versus literal language, all right? So this is why symbols are very important, okay? Because the subconscious mind sees this, put in a whole different category, a whole different folder of what it means. So this is why we must reprogram subconscious mind with our symbols, okay? Give them our meaning and keep repeating it in conscious mind. That way we program our subconscious mind, our third eye, okay? We got our subconscious mind, also known as the third eye, umbrella. Okay, gotta program that, guys. Let's leave power. Because the subconscious mind responds strongly to images and types, symbols, speak directly to deeper layers of something. Didn't I just say that? That's all. Use in magic. Magicians employ symbols to encode intent and link into its universal forces. Common symbols. Alright, let's program. Balance of elements, protection. Because you were saying that 5, 6 point star, the pentagram is 5. You're already thinking keys of Solomon and stuff like that. Understand that each point of that And in the middle, you still have another element. There's actually more than five elements, but we'll get deeper on that. We'll go into that later. Right now, we just need to stay on the surface to get you guys to start peeling back the layers. Right? I want you guys to make sure you're writing notes. All right, you should have your own questions. I do not want to brain control you. I do not want to control your brain and tell you how to think. I think you should get questions, put it in your notes, and start asking questions just like me. Right? But because we're new here, we're learning how to research and how to bring to our minds and into the matrix to the reality. How to start somewhere. All right? I want you guys to know this is me, okay? I'm not putting on no facades. I'm not putting on no anything. I'm literally coming to you just like this as myself. I'm not going to try to be perfect on this camera. I'm not going to try to be anything I'm not for one reason. Authenticity, okay? Hope this gets to you because I'm being real. If not, shoot it. Stop it. You know, it tells me anyways. That's what this is for. But if it gets to you, just understand that you are chosen and you are here for a reason. To your magic. Circle, sacred space, holiness, eternity, colors, red is passion, strength, green, growth and money, black, banishment, protection, numbers, carry mystical quality, 3 for creation, 7 for spiritual power, tools, wand, willpower, cup, emotion, sword, mind, pentacle, earth, nature, earth, matter, okay? Ritual and symbolism work together. Rituals are created for soul. They combine words, gestures, and symbolic elements to speak to the subconscious mind and the unseen. The symbolism acts as a bridge between inner intention and outer manifestation. Example, in a love spell, a red color isn't just wax. It's a symbolic vessel for passion and attraction. Lights ritualistically charges the symbol with energy and will. In essence, ritual is the structure, building. The ritual is basically the cup, guys, okay? When you get your cup, you need to fill it. And you can fill it with the language, the meaning, the symbol, the symbol. Together they create living dialogue between the conscious and the subconscious mind. Okay? So if you want to get your subconscious and your conscious mind living like this, because sometimes they're just apart. I want to get like this. Create you a symbol, put understanding behind the symbol, meditate on that symbol. Okay? Just stare at the symbol, guys. Okay? You're going to stare at it so long, right? You're going to stare at it so long that when you close your eyes, it's still going to be your eyes. Okay? When you get to that point, you have to successfully create your own symbol and your meaning behind it. Your subconscious mind has not directly and naturally came together, okay? Your feeling, your masculine mind, Second. All right. Involves carefully planned rituals, invocations, and symbolic actions. Use sacred texts, correspondence, planets, elements, deities, and often a ritual script. Rituals are meant to open a sacred space where the practitioner can interact with higher powers. Remember, we talked about that earlier? Symbolism and tools. Ceremonial magicians employ a systematic language of symbols to focus intent and connect with universal energies. Tools often include wand, willpower, cup, chalice, emotions, intuition, sword, dagger, intellect, clarity, banishing, pinnacle, grinding, material world. Y'all give me a second, I lost my tool. Space. Spaces are prepared with a circle for protection, an altar, and sometimes robes or ritual implements. Invocation, evocation, invocation, calling divine or higher powers into oneself. Archangels, deities. Evocation, summoning spiritual entities into a space to communicate or work with them. Correspondence systems. Ceremonial magic draws from ancient and esoteric systems such as Kabbalah, Tree of Life, astrology, planetary forces, alchemy, transformation of self and spirit, Hermeticism, principles of as above, so below, as within, as without. You get the point. Purpose, not just about material gain, but primarily about spiritual transformation and union with higher realities. Can be used for self initiation and personal evolution, contacting spiritual beings, angels, spirits, archetypes, manifesting change in one's life. Examples of ceremonial magic go systems, Magick systems, Hermetic Order of Dawn, influential 19th and 20th century magic order, blending Kabbalah, astrology, tarot, and Hermetic philosophy. Thelma, Aleister Crowley, that guy again. Ceremonial rituals designed to discover and align with one's true will. Enochian Magick, system of angelic invocations received by John Dee and Edward Kelly in 1500s. Guys, I'm almost, I'm almost, I'm wondering who the hell is John Dee. Let's go figure that out. John Dee. This nigga was on some other shit. What was John Dee famous for? John Dee was a 16th century English polymath known for his diverse expertise in mathematics, astronomy, navigation, and astrology, as well as his engagement with occult practices like alchemy and spiritual communication. He was an advisor to Queen Elizabeth I, a cartographer for the British Empire's expansion, and a scholar with one of Europe's largest libraries. Dee is also remembered for his groundbreaking work in cryptography, his patronage of the English language, and his unusual, controversial attempts to communicate with angels through his scryer, Edward Kelly. Let's get back to the big dogs. John Dee and Edward Kelly. Okay, I think we should figure out who is Edward Kelly. Edward Kelly. What was Edward Kelly famous for? Sir Edward Kelly, or Kelly, also known as Edward Talbot, was an English Renaissance occultist and scryer. He is known for working with John Dee in his magical investigations. Okay. Perfect. Let's continue. Enochian magic, system of angelic invocations received by John Dee and Edward Kelly in the 1500s. Perfect. Psalmonic grimoire traditions, medieval times, like the Key of Solomon, with detailed instructions for invoking angels or spirits. Okay. Ceremonial magic is magic with a capital M, ritualized, symbolic, formal. seeks not only results but also spiritual enlightenment and transformation. Uses rituals as a way of speaking to the cosmos, the divine, and the depths of the psyche. Hmm. It's always about going deep in the psyche, deep in the psyche. Let's go deeper, let's go deeper, let's go deeper. Chaos, what is chaos magic? What is chaos magic? Magick, 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 3 times, baby. Chaos magic is often described as the punk rock of modern magic. Give me a second. Flexible, experimental, and results driven. With little regard for tradition or rigid rules, it emerged in the late 20th century, especially through the work of Peter J. Corral and Ray Sherwin in the 1970s and 80s. Okay. Belief as a tool. In chaos magic, belief itself is seen as a kind of technology. You can adopt, discard, and switch beliefs as needed to achieve results. Example, one might use Norse gods one week, angelic names the next, and a pop culture symbol the following week. Because what matters is the effect, not the tradition. Okay, so they don't get themselves caught in traps and boxes, okay? They willing to stretch the program to get results. That's all that matters to them. Pragmatism over tradition. Unlike ceremonial magic, high magic, which relies on precise rituals and historic systems, Kabbalah and astrology, chaos magic values practicality. If it works, use it. If not, discard it. Perfect. Psychological model. Many chaos magicians view magic less as calling external spirits and more as hacking the subconscious mind. We're back at Aleister Crowley. Hacking the subconscious mind. We're going to get into that. Ritual, symbol, and sigil become tools to bypass the conscious mind and embed intent into deeper layers of self. We already covered that. Sigil Magick. One of the most iconic techniques, a sigil is a symbol created from a written intention, then charged with energy through meditation, trance, excitement, or even laughter. Did you pick up on that? This directly said that we could do it through meditation, closing our eyes, picturing that inside our heads, and breathing in and out that idea, okay? Or we could go into a trance. Now, in order to go into a trance, you must stare at something and start to give yourself ideas of things, you know what I'm saying? After a while of staring at something, your mind will literally start to weigh or swing in different places. And if you hold on to that, you'll get even deeper. And at that point, you would be in a trance. It's almost like putting yourself on the MK Ultra, but it'll be self-induced. Excitement or even laughter. After charging, the sigil is forgotten by the subconscious mind, allowing the intent to work unconsciously. That is how you hijack yourself. Experimentation and play. Chaos magic encourages improvisation, innovation, and even using pop culture, comic book heroes, memes, fictional characters as magical archetypes. Superman, Batman. This paradigm shifting is central. The magician is free to adopt any worldview temporarily to empower the work. Guys, in chaos magic, as long as it works, no one cares, bro. We just need results, okay? So it can get super chaotic, it can get super unrule based. As long as we get what we wanted in return, as in a result that was successful, we call that great chaos magic, all right? Purpose and goal. Direct results, prosperity, protection, inspiration, healing, influence, etc. Personal empowerment. Mastering one's mind, breaking limiting beliefs, creating freedom from dogma. Exploration. Testing reality, seeing how far belief and will can bend the world, can bend the matrix, can bend your reality. In contrast, ceremonial magic equals structured, traditional, often hierarchical. Chaos magic equals freedom, experimental, belief flexible, where ceremonialists carefully align with planetary hours. Chaos magicians might make a ritual out of doodling a sigil on a napkin and charging it with laughter at a bar. In short, chaos magic is the art of using belief, imagination, and symbolism as flexible tools to shape reality without being bound to any fixed tradition. I like it, I like it, I like it. Let's go deeper. What is Wicca? What is Wicca? What is Wicca? What is Wicca? Guys, I really love the word Wicca for some reason. It looks like the real deal. You feel me? It looks like Magick. Exactly. Wicca is a modern, nature-based spiritual system and religion that draws on ancient pagan traditions, ceremonial magic, and folk practices. It was popularized in the mid 20th century, especially by Gerald Gardner, often called the father of modern Wicca. Wicca. Core features of Wicca: nature centered. Wiccans honor the cycles of nature, the seasons, the moons, and the elements: earth, air, fire, water, spirit. You see how many elements that is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can even say spirit is ether or light. Okay, so that's the pentagram right there. Nature itself is seen as sacred and ritual, often aligned with lunar phases and seasonal festivals. The divine. Typical honors a goddess. It says typically honors a goddess and a god, representing balance, polarity, and the creative forces of life, feminine and masculine energies. Some traditions see them as archetypes, others as literal deities. Many Wiccans and polytheistic, working with various gods, goddesses, or dual theistic, focusing on a god and goddesses. Okay, so in one way, you can either work with a lot of gods and goddesses, or you can keep it dualistic, right? Which is 1 and 2, Isis and Osiris. Boom. The wheel of the year. 8 seasonal festivals, Sabbats, mark the solar cycle, solstice, equinoxes, and cross-quarter days. Samhain and Beltane. Esbats are rituals held during the full moon, honoring lunar cycles. Magick, and ritual. Wicca includes magical practices, often called the craft. Ritual tools: at the main, wand, chalice, pentacle, are used symbolically. Circles are cast to create sacred space for ritual and spell work. Ethics: the central guidelines in the Wiccan read, and in harm none, do what ye will. As long as it doesn't harm anybody, do it. That's what they believe in. Wiccans don't give a damn. As long as it ain't hurting nobody, get to it. Yes, Lord. Meaning you are free to act according to your will as long as it harms no one. Boom. Just like that. Many also consider the threefold law: what you send out, energy, intention, harm, or good, returns to you threefold, baby. Yeah, so if you're doing Wicca, just understand that what you put out will come back to you, good or bad, and it's coming back threefold. Community and initiation. Some practice in coverings groups, others as solitaries, alone. Traditions: Gardnerian, Alexandrian, elect, eclectic, have different structured and initiatory paths. Damn, this kind of dope right here. I get Gardnerian, but what's these two? You feel me? You know what? We're gonna put these, copy. That's another question we need to ask. I have no way to explain that to you, meaning that's something we need to research. You see how the questions just come? I don't even ask for them, they just come to me. I just let it flow, and the flow brings energy. brings knowledge, it brings power. In essence, Wicca is a modern pagan religion that honors nature and the cycles of life, celebrates the divine as both goddess and god, uses ritual and magic for spiritual growth and harmony, emphasizes ethical living through personal responsibility and harm none. Cool, 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 cool. All right, baby. Let's get deeper. A few more questions, guys. We almost abide here. Our next question is, what is folk magic? Hoodoo brujeria. This one right here gets a lot of people scared. Hoodoo voodoo gets a lot of people scared, but we about to break it down, all right? We about to break it down because some of y'all don't even know what hoodoo is and you don't believe in it. But let me tell you something right now. Just because you don't believe, don't mean it don't work, okay? Get your head in the game. Stop thinking because you don't believe it don't work. Nah, nigga, it work. And if you don't believe, that's okay because your beliefs can be used against you. Remember that. Get your head in the game. We're in reality right now, alright? We're not playing with you, alright? Perfect question, because folk magic is very different in tone from things like ceremonial magic or Wicca. What is folk magic? Folk magic is practical, community-based magic rooted in everyday life, often passed down orally or through tradition. It's not necessarily tied to an organization or religion, though it often blends with local spiritual beliefs. Focuses on results, protection, healing, love, luck, fertility, prosperity, removing curses, etc. This is really good for banishing dead curses. Focuses on results. Tools are often ordinary items, herbs, roots, oils, candles, charms, prayers, household objects. Yeah, they doing folk magic with simple tools. It almost sounds like chaos magic, but it's a little different. Let's break it down. It's less about elaborate ritual and more about using what you have plus ancestral wisdom. Meaning that the shit your grandparents told you, they using that to their benefit. You feel what I'm saying? Hoodoo, African folk magic. I hate when they put these two words together, alright? But this is their reality, we're just living it. Alright, origin. Developed among enslaved African people in the U.S. Especially in the South, blending African spiritual practices with Native American herbal knowledge and European folk magic. Magic. It's a magic, baby. Core practices, root work, using herbs, roots, and minerals. Moho bags, small charm bags filled with magical items for protection, luck, or love. Candle magic, dressing candles with oils, herbs, and prayers. They're not finna we'll light the candle on your ass, alright? Bible, Psalms, and prayer. Christianity and African spirituality often woven together. That's different. Purpose, very practical. Protection, justice, drawing, love, money, removing jinxes. Oh yeah, jinx, you're it? Oh, we'll remove that. Don't even trip about it. Brujeria, Spanish for witchcraft. Oh, look at that word people don't like. Witchcraft. Origin, a broad term that can mean different things in different Latin American and speaking Spanish contexts. Often a synthetic blend of indigenous, African, and Catholic practices. Practices vary but may include curanderismo, folk healing, herbs, prayer, cleansing, rituals, limpias. Work with saints or spirits, sometimes blending Catholic saints with older deities. Mary Guadalupe. I wish I had her around so I could show you. Give me a second. I'm going to grab it so I can show you one of the saints right now. You see it? Yeah, that's a candle I found right at the dollar store. It was really $1. But that's a saint, yo. We get about four of these. We light them up, put them in different places in the house, and we get one of them songs from the Bible. Yeah, remember they said Catholic practices? And we sing that song, and we light these candles, and we let the intent shape its reality. It's just that easy, guys. No, I don't use this for that. I simply light it just because I like candles. But I'm telling you, if I was, we get straight into that. You feel me? But it's not really my goal to practice magic. It's more so my goal to understand it before I even practice it. All right, I like to gain knowledge before I walk myself into anything inside any deals with things I know nothing about. That's why you got to get your knowledge. All right, the more you know, the less dumb you sound. Perfect. Let's get on. Magic for protection, love, healing, or cursing. In some places, brujeria is viewed with suspicion associated with sorcery, but many practitioners claim it is a cultural, spiritual identity. So if you in the culture, you don't see it as sorcery or witchcraft. But if you know nothing about the culture, people say witchcraft and sorcery. They know nothing on what they're talking about. They're judging the outside book by its cover. Freaking idiots. Let's move on. Folk magic versus ceremonial Wicca. Wicca. Let me stop playing. Ceremonial magic, high magic equals formal, symbolic, often intellectual, spiritual. Wicca equals modern religion, nature-based, focus on harmony and ethics. Folk magic equals hands-on, practical, rooted in culture and daily needs. Where ceremonial magicians might invoke planetary angels and Wiccans might celebrate the solstice, a folk magician might make a charm bag for safe travel or use herbs to protect a child. To protect a child. Just putting it out there. In essence, hoodoo is an African American root work, tradition, practical, and often Christian influence. Brujeria equals diverse Latin American traditions of witchcraft, healing, and spirit work. Both are part of the larger world of folk magic, community wisdom, ancestral power, and daily life spell work. Would you like me to explain? No. No, chat. They don't deserve that. Let's get deeper. Let's get deeper. The next question we got up, guys, is what is Enochian, Goetia, Kabbalistic, and many others? Boom. 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 Enochian Magick origin, developed in the late 1500s by John Dee, court magician, astrologer to Queen Elizabeth I and his squire, Edward Kelly. System. They claim to receive angelic communication that revealed an entire angelic language called Enochian in a detailed cosmology of heavens and angelic hierarchies. Practice involves ritual invocation of angels, use of complex tables, magical squares, and calls or invocations in the Enochian language. Purpose to contact and communicate with angelic intelligence and explore higher planes of existence. Here we go. Goetia. Ars Goetia, Solomonic tradition. King of Solomon was in this realm. Origins, part of the Lesser Key of Solomon, a 17th century Gemara, book of magic. Wait a second. Let's go see what that look like. Let's go see what that look like. We got one for $10,000, another one for 1,000, 17, 22, 11. Translated from ancient manuscripts into the British Museum, London. Ceremonial Magic, L.W.D. Lawrence. Member of the Eastern Order of Sacred Mysteries, De Laurentians, Chicago. Ancient manuscripts in the British Museum, London. Ceremonial Magic, High Magic. Copyrighted in 1916 by Lawrence Scott and Co. Special notice. The illustrations, cover design, and context of this volume are protected by copyright and must not reproduce or copy without written permission from the publishers. Disregard of this warning will subject the offender to penalty provided by law. It has been about 75 years, guys, so you actually can simply put it up now. It's public information. So here we got the circle. You see a snake inside that, right? His tail is here, his head is there, right at the pinnacle. Guys, right now we're looking at magic. I need you to understand there goes the pentagram right there. The sun inside the circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 stars. That's not a pentagram. After the Hebrews of Dr. Rudd, you see how they got all the directions on there? They go to 4 sides. Remember I told you about the 4 saints? Putting them at 4 corners of the house, and at the pinnacle, we got the song we sang. This was for premonition, so to see deep inside something. Pretty cool, right? And go some more symbols, you see? Guys, all of this stuff right here is magic, alright? I can't translate any of this because I actually have no understanding of it. But it damn looks cool as fuck. This is true. What does that look like? Look like a light bulb, don't it? Does it look like a guy with a helmet? Does it look like a castle or a building with 2 doors? This look like a circuit with a heart up top. Wow, they got a lot of them in here. Guys, I recommend some of you guys draw these things out and see what happens, alright? But make sure you research it before you really draw it out so you understand what you're drawing. Okay, because there was people out here who really believed in this stuff, meaning they put belief into it already. Intent and will, meaning it has power. The boogeyman. They go to UFOs right there. I wonder, can we screenshot this? Perfect. The Lesser Key of Solomon. Of course, it would be in a different language. I believe in him in whom I am a spiritual vessel, visible, invisible, almighty God of gods, wearing and deserting hatred houses dwell. As Oxydos out of Egypt and out of the country, named to always rise, and undefeated I call on your typhoon, 6th of divination finally, that I call on the original, shot naming that power, extended. There we go, getting deep again. Preface. This translation of the first book of Lemmigetin, which is now for the first time made accessible to students of atomic magic, was done. Preliminary invocation. Thee I invoke the bornless one. He wasn't born. I'm not going to read some of this out because I might start invoking things and I actually don't want to get that put on me without understanding it. Like I told you guys before, shit really starts to take place even if you don't know it, alright? So you need to watch what you say, period. But I'm setting this here so you can at least understand what's around and what's there. Boy, they said all power belong to me. Mm. This is all pretty cool. Guys, you see exactly how I got to this? You can do the same. Book of Evil Spirits. Contains 200 diagrams and seals for invocation and convocation of spirits, necromancy, witchcraft, and black art. Translated from ancient manuscripts in the British Museum, London. That's pretty cool. Let's go on the Secret Seal of Solomon. So there's a breakdown of what we just read. They have another breakdown for it if you guys couldn't understand that. The conjuration of the fire. All right, let's get back to business. System focuses on the evocation of 72 spirits, daemons, not demons, but daemons, said to be bound by King Solomon. Practice rituals, use circles, sigils, and divine names to summon and control spirits for knowledge, guidance, or practical outcomes. Purpose, often associated with spirit work, calling beings not to worship them, but to command or negotiate with them. All right, so they didn't call them to possess them. All right, that's not what they was here for. They was coming to work under me, bro. You're gonna give me information. You're gonna tell me what I need to know. And you're gonna do what I say do, or you're gonna be what you're gonna get. We're gonna put King Solomon on you. All right, we're gonna put King Solomon on you, bound by King Solomon. We're gonna call on King Solomon. He gonna bound your ass. All right, keep playing. Kabbalistic magic, Hermetic Kabbalah, often based on Jewish Kabbalah, mystical teachings, but adapted in the Renaissance into Hermetic Kabbalah for use in Western occultism. Systems. The tree of life is the central map. 10 Sephiroth spears connected by 12 paths linked to Hebrew letters, tarot, astrology, etc. Practice involves meditation, path working, and ritual designed to ascend the tree of life, harmonize energies, and align with the divine. Purpose, spiritual ascent, mystical union, and organizing magical correspondences into a universal system. Other key systems, Hermeticism, based on ancient teachings like the Corpus Hermeticum, about the unity of spirit and matter, famous maxim, as above, so below, as within, so without. Alright, guys. We're going to cover so much more, right? But I hate to cram so much information into you guys, at just once, especially if, like, it'll go over your head if we put too much information out there, right? So what I'll do is I'll make a part 2 to this where we'll answer the rest of these questions. That way you can get a deep dive into what's next, you feel me? But I'll finish this one out for us, okay? You guys deserve it. Understand that. Practices involves meditation, path working, and ritual designed to ascend the tree of life, harmonize energies, and align with the divine. Purpose, spiritual ascent, mystical union, and organize their magical correspondences into a universal system. Other key systems. Hermeticism, based on ancient teachings like corpus hermeticum. Okay, let's figure out what that is. No, because y'all gonna put it right there and we're gonna research it. We're not the type of guys that you can brain control. We like to research. We're not scared of research. I want to keep this window up. That Lesser Key of Solomon stuff was really getting deep. I actually kind of like, my spirit was telling me this is it. You feel what I'm saying? So we're not gonna skip over that just yet. Hermes, all that is moved, eucalyptus, is it not moved in something and by something? So right here we got a conversation between Hermes and Asclepius. I actually never seen that word till today, so it's gonna take me a minute to get it right. Asclepius. Give me a second. I'll get my computer to see it.
Asclepius.
Word. There it is, Asclepius. I thought I said it. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for symbols. Nostradamus. Vedas. The Book of Shadows. Yeah, trust me, guys. We'll get into that soon, too. Let's get back to business. About the unity of spirit and matter. Famous maximum, as above, so below. Alchemy. Both a proto-science, turning lead into gold, and a spiritual system of inner transformation. Astrological magic, using planetary hours, talisman, and celestial timing to harness cosmic influences. Tarot magic. Tarot cards not just for divination, but as ritual symbols and tools for meditation and energy work. We got another Rosicrucianism. Rosicrucianism. Okay, we're gonna let our computer pronounce this, okay, guys? Because what we don't want to do is start putting words out there and not know how to read. All right, when we got something that can literally tell us how to say it.
Rosicrucianism.
I was pretty close. Esoteric Christian mysticism that influenced Freemasonry and ceremonial magic. Golden Dawn Magick, a 19th through 20th century magical order that synthesized Enochian, Kabbalah, astrology, tarot, and alchemy into one system. They wasn't playing, they was using it all. How they relate. Think of these as different dialects of the magical language. Enochian equals angelic communication system. Goetia equals spirit evocation system. Kabbalah equals universal map, framework for energy, consciousness, and the cosmos. The stars, baby, the stars. Others, Hermeticism, alchemy, astrology, etc. equals supporting sciences and philosophies that magicians weave into practice. In essence, these are different magical traditions and systems developed across centuries. Some, like Goetia, focus on spirits, others, like Kabbalah's, on spiritual accent, and others, like Enochian, on angelic contact. Most ceremonial magicians today blend them, often through the Golden Dawn or Thelema. How do we intention and reshapes one's subconscious? Copy, paste. Alright guys, this is our last one for today. We've made it so far, we're about an hour in, so we're gonna stop. I always try to make my classes about an hour. I never wanted to go longer because I know you guys got a lot going on, and I do too. Bingo. Now we're getting into the practical, transformative side of magic and psychology. Reshaping subconscious patterns is all about bringing conscious intent with the deeper layers of your mind where habits, beliefs, and emotional responses are stored. Here's a clear breakdown. Okay, understanding the subconscious. Your subconscious runs most of your automatic behaviors, habits, fears, beliefs, emotional reactions. Many of these patterns were formed early in life or through repeated experiences. To truly change behavior or reality, you must work at the subconscious level, not just the conscious will. Setting clear intentions. Intentionality is key. Your mind can't act on vague desires, only on clear, focused intentions. Steps. Define the change you want. I want to feel confident in social settings, not I want to stop being shy. That doesn't even make sense, guys. Stop saying I want to be shy. You need to say it the correct way. I want to feel confident in social settings. And see that? That's way more broad, right? It already covers the I want to stop being shy part, right? But if you say I just want to stop being shy, that's ego based and it's too shallow. Stop being shallow. Phrase positivity. Avoid negative language. The subconscious often ignores don't or not. Example, instead of I will not be anxious, use I am calm and confident. You see what they did right here? This I won't, the brain doesn't even react to. But this right here, I am, the brain reacts to. Confident and calm. Visualize it clearly. Language, imagine yourself acting, feeling, and experiencing the change. Engage in all senses. I can feel confidence. You see my glasses on my face? I see confidence. When I breathe in, the sound I hear that it makes sounds confident. That's using the senses, baby. I can feel these glasses on my face and they're just giving me so much confidence. Yeah. I don't even play around with this stuff, man. I get serious about it. I get technical about it. Techniques to reshape the subconscious. Repetition and affirmation. Repeatedly tell your subconscious your intentions. Affirmations, mantras, journaling. Works because repetition forms new neural pathways. Did y'all hear that? Works because repetition forms new neural pathways. Guys, I know some of y'all don't know what neural means, so we're gonna get a quick definition of that, alright? Boom. Boom. Neural, relating to a nerve or the nervous system. You see that? So we got to get into that nervous system, alright? Is neural the same as brain? Let's see. What is another word for? Okay, let's do this. Another word for neural would be nervous, neural, or neurological. The brain. The nervous system. It's neural networks are data hungry, unlike the human equivalent. Whereas the human brain would take only a few seconds to process the information and relay this required information, which will help us identify the unusual or uncommon plant, bird, or animal species. Why you ain't just answer the question, chat? What is neural in the human body? The nervous system. Let's see what they say. Neurons are nerve cells that send messages all over your body to allow you to do everything from breathing to talking, eating, and walking and thinking. You see this right here? That's the nerves. Until recently, most neuroscientists, scientists who study the brain, it's crazy that they won't say it's the brain, but neuroscientists literally study the brain. Thought we were born with all neurons we were all going to have. That's not true. What does neural mean in medical science? What part of the body is neural? Your body's command center, your nervous system. Perfect. Let's get up out of here. Meditation and mindfulness. Awareness of thoughts and automatic reactions allow conscious intervention. Meditation creates a mental space where the subconscious can be reprogrammed deliberately. Perfect. Ritual and symbolic acts. Rituals work as psychological catalysts. The subconscious responds strongly to symbols, action, and emotional intensity. Examples: lighting a candle while visualizing your intention. Magic. Writing down a limiting belief and burning it as a symbolic release. Journaling. Creating sigils and chaos magic to encode a desire. Symbols. Hypnosis, self-hypnosis. Trance, state of mind. Bypasses the conscious mind to implant suggestions directly into the subconscious. Useful for phobias, confidence, habits, or creative works. Acid. Dream work and active imagination. Subconscious often communicates in symbols and metaphors. Keeping a dream journal, meditating on dreams, or engaging in guided visualization can reveal and transform hidden patterns. Guys, at least in the next part or the part afterwards, we're going to get more physical about this. Right now, we're in the mind, so we're in the mental part, but we're going to switch over to the physical and in the spiritual. So I'm going to even teach you how to meditate, all right? Because some of y'all don't believe you know how to meditate, but until you start making rules for your reality, someone has to teach you. So the first thing I want to tell you is, the moment you set it out there, it becomes the results. So for instance, the way I meditate is simply close my eyes, and through the nose, hold. That's me meditating. That was a 3-second meditation for you right there, all right? And the longer you do that, the better you'll get. It's that simple. Stop thinking you got to be doing some yoga shit or anything of the above, guys. You first of all need to understand, for your reality, you create the rules. Not Jim Jones, not John D, not Chris Tucker, not Aladdin, okay? You, as in whoever this is in front of this screen, you create the rules, you create your reality, you control your destiny, period. Amplify the word. Emotional intensity, belief, faster results. You see that right there? Emotional intensity plus belief equals faster results. Didn't I just tell you you created, so you got to believe in yourself to really get these results? The subconscious responds more to felt experience than intellectual understanding. Combine visualization, ritual, affirmation, and emotional energy for maximum impact. Repetition over time builds lasting new habits and beliefs. Guys, the more you repeat whatever you're trying to do, the more it'll start to become your reality, period. Example, building confidence. Set intention. I am confident and at ease in social situations. Visualization. Picture yourself walking into a room, smiling, speaking clearly, feeling relaxed. Ritual. Light a candle at night, repeat affirmation 7 times, focus on the flame as a symbol of your confidence. Alright? Let that flame and that candle be your symbol of your confidence. Yeah. Daily practice. Repeat affirmation. Journal wins. Meditate on feeling of confidence. Integration. Gradually, your subconscious begins to accept this as reality. Your behavior, your posture, and responses naturally change. It just happened, guys. You can't really do this. You kind of gotta like program your mind and allow it to just, just flow, baby. Just live, baby. Just be yourself. It's simple. Integration. Gradually, your subconscious begins to accept this as your reality. Your behavior, your posture, and your responses naturally change. You don't even got to do nothing. It's just going to naturally do it for you, and you won't even recognize it unless you tap in, baby. Tap in. In short, intentionality plus symbolic action plus repetition plus emotional engagement equals subconscious reshaping. 1, 2, 3, 4 equals subconscious reshaping. Magick, magic, magic. Psychology and self-development are essentially different languages describing the same process. Bro, you don't even got to do magic. You could do psychological work. Or you could do self-development, and essentially you'll be doing the same exact thing I'm doing if I was doing magic. Guys, we relate in so many ways. Stop trying to be different. Just be yourself. Yeah, you talking about you're different. No, you're yourself. Who is different? Stop that. Be yourself. Don't even be different. Be yourself. That should naturally be different. Don't try to be different. If you try to be yourself, you'll do a lot better at being different. Trust me. Directing your mind is to create real, lasting change. Boom. And just like that, guys, we have hit our limit for today. I have taught a lot. I have given a lot of information, and therefore, we will end right there, okay? When we get back, we'll be discussing on what is and how do we do magic at such a high level that they can't fucking stop us. Alright, but that was it for today, guys. I just wanted to drop that on you and at least give you some basic knowledge of what we're working on and what we're going to be heading into in the next reality. I'll see you later.